So welcome back, everyone.
Hi.
So I hope everyone has done their prayers and had their lunch. And I hope everyone is a bit more energetic compared to what we were in the morning. So Madam Zuli is here again. And I assume that you've already had your lunch, right, Madam?
Yes.
All right. So I think the crew can start with the PowerPoint again. Yeah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, for this segment, Madam Lian will be explaining and showing us how we can properly utilize Canva and CapCut in an educational setting. So without further ado, I pass the floor to Madam Lian.
So welcome back. And for session 2, we're going to start with criteria of a good MMP. What makes a good multimedia presentation? Canva for education. And then lastly, I will talk about CapCut. Can we move on to the next slide? So criteria of a good MMP. Next slide. So here are 5 topics that I want to talk about and I want to share with you today. All these are based on my personal experiences, from my mistakes to my successes. And I feel that these are the stages are most important to ensure that from beginning to the end, your project is successful. So we're going to do planning first, and then I'm going to share with you principles of design. I'm going to share with you what is Casper. Number 3, audio and MMP. 4, during the recording process, what you need to know. And number 5, post-production or editing. Next slide, please. So planning is an important stage. When you have proper planning, especially when you're working in teams for your assignments after this, you will face less problems. So remember that number 1, what is your lesson objective? Your MMP must answer the lesson objective. What skill are you trying to cover? What is the content about? And what do you want your students to understand by the end of the lesson? There's no point doing fun videos, but at the end of the lesson, your students learn nothing. Okay. And number 2, concept. Concept refers to the style of the multimedia presentation. What kind of style are you trying to try out after this? Do you want to do a tutorial? Do you want to do a game show with your students? Do you want to do a sketch? Maybe you have some acting. Do you want to do an interview for speaking lessons? Or do you want to do music videos so that your students can sing along? Maybe for language arts, something fun. So choose a concept that fits you and fits the lesson objective. Number 3, check first if you have the proper equipment. Do you have enough cameras? Are you going to be using your handphone? Do you have a digital camera maybe? And how are you going to edit it? Are you going to edit from a smartphone? Are you going to edit from your laptop? Check that you're going to make your own props, or are you going to add them digitally after in the post-production? What do you need? Do you need a gimbal? Do you need lights? Do you need backdrops? So these when you think about it now, it will help you later, because otherwise you'll be running to the store. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, I don't have this, and you'll be wasting time. And a question that I always get: do you need the latest gadgets? No, you can always modify. So I'm sure like students like you have like a lot of creative ideas. Like for example, tripod, you attach the handphone to a broom, then you get a suspension broom stick for
Very
yourself.
innovative.
I've done it all before. Because when you don't have money, you have limited resources. You have to think ahead. And how much time do you have before your deadline? How many days do you need before, to prep, to shoot, to edit? So you allocate enough time and you don't leave it to the last minute. Been there before, because when you're rushing and you're editing, then you don't get a very nice product. So, because there's always something in the way. Someone's going to get sick. Someone's going to have an emergency. Could be the weather. Suddenly it rains, so you can't shoot. You have to postpone to another day, or you have other assignments to complete. So make sure you allocate enough time for your project. And number 5, this is your blueprint of your project. I call this the foundation to build a house. So if you don't have a good foundation, your house is going to crumble. And if you don't plan ahead, then you're going to waste a lot of time, especially during editing, because you're going to find that, oh, we have to reshoot this. We forgot this scene. Oh, we need to add this scene. We forgot the music. Now you have to search for music. So is this part clear?
I think so.
Okay, then we can move on. And I'm going to show you a script. So this is a basic script that people use in the industry. There are 4 columns. So the first one is the scene. And for every row, you divide it when the camera changes direction or when you transition to another area. For example, maybe montage. So montage will be the title. You'll have the pictures. You want to introduce your show. And then it moves on to the first scene. So the first scene, you have to describe first. Where is this going to take place? Is it going to take place in a room? Is this going to take place with a green screen behind you? Or are you going to shoot in a canteen? And then you have to describe what the compare or the actor is doing. Let me explain first. Compare means the host of the show. So for example, I'm speaking alone, so I'm a compare. But if you have people acting, then you call them actors. So you add like their behaviors. What are they doing? Are they waving? Are they smiling? Are they walking or are they standing? So for the scene section, this is where you type all the details. So as you can see, excuse me, in the second scene, compare waves goodbye. So that signals like, oh, that's the end of the show. And then at the ending, there's the end credit. So this tells your editor that, okay, this part is the end. This is where we type all the credits name. And for the second column, that's your script. So this is everything that the person is going to say. So example, you want the compare or the host to say, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Versatility in 21st Century, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then at the end, you might want them to say, oh, that's all for now. See you next time. And then we move on to the third column, FX, stands for effects. So in the montage, make sure that it is aligned so that your editor knows that what is going to appear. So if you want a title appears next to the montage, okay, type it there. If you want the title to appear when the compare is saying good morning, so okay, maybe the title appears up here or down here or in the middle. You have to be a little bit more specific. And at the end, you want the compare to explode or something. So you add a visual effects, explosion, or a smoke or something. And then at the end, maybe a black screen, and then the credit rolls. And this is where the editor will type, okay, directed by Nazahan, produced by Teacher Lien, and who is the compare, so on and so forth. And the last column is sound effects. So sound effects, maybe you have an opening theme. That's where you might want to add your background music. And then when the title appears in the first scene, you might want it to jump in with a boing kind of sound. So you add their boing. And then at the end, when the compare explodes, you want to have a background sound, people applauding like yay or something, or an explosion sound, you know? And at the end, you add your credit theme music. So is this part clear?
Yeah. So in general, like this, one would say table, right, is
Mm,
more of a general script for all members of a team. So the
yeah,
director, the producer, the actors, even the
yes,
editors.
yes.
Uh, so
So you
if
keep
let's say,
this script. You keep
mm,
this script to the end of the project. Do not lose
mm,
it.
so let's say if we're working in a team for an
Mm.
MMP, this should be the model script,
I wouldn't say model, but like because this is just a general
basics,
one.
basic script
Basic.
that
Yeah.
everything should be stated. Ah, I see.
Some people type it out like a paragraph. Some people put it in a table. I like to put it in a table so that it's easier for me to understand.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think we can continue.
Next slide. Or maybe you prefer a storyboard. This is a template that I got from Canva. So in the template section, you just type storyboard. There are a few examples here. They are already numbered. So you just change the pictures and you change your dialogue and like the characters and whatever. So if you notice in the screen, it says VO. VO stands for voiceover. So after you record the scene, you record a separate audio of yourself narrating the scene. And then the shot size tells the cameraman how to frame the scene. Do you want to get the whole background of the feed in the video, or do you want a mid shot so you get only half the body, or do you want a close up so the camera will come closer and zoom in closer to your face? So that's how you can. This is one of the ways you can plan your project. And next is mine. I will show you how I do my storyboard. Very old school. I just printed out boxes, labeled it myself, and then I just draw. So this storyboard for Hey Emma. So you can see the blue pen is what the text are going to appear. The red are my lyrics, and the one in black are what my husband is supposed to say, and then add all the effects and what is going to appear. And every time we shot the scene, we tick with a highlighter so that we know, okay, we've got this shot, we've got this shot, we've got all the shots so that we don't miss out anything. Any questions?
I think so far the audience members.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I
Very
think.
good, systematic way. Thank you, Point Salma.
Yeah.
So next, this is Casper. So Casper is an acronym. It stands for contrast, alignment, simplicity, proximity, emphasis, and repetitions. And why do we need to know this principle of design? Because when we want to design our slides, we want to make sure that you are getting the viewer's attention. You don't want everything to be cluttered. So these are certain tips, certain theories that might help you for your project later. Let's start with contrast. So contrast helps your slide to stand out. And you can do this 4 ways. You can do it via color. You can do it with image. Maybe you want a picture that contrasts with the background, or maybe typography. You want to show maybe you have like a big font and then you contrast with smaller fonts. And then lines, you can experiment with thick lines and fine lines. All these will affect your multimedia presentation. And here's an exercise. Question. Which picture follows the principle of contrast? Picture A or picture B? What do you think, Nazhan?
Well, honestly, it's A, obviously. because we can
Yes,
make out
very
pictures much more very clearly.
yes, it's very obvious. So like if you look at huge scale, I experimented with the color and the typography. So compared to picture B, when you use just the same font for your presentation, it looks very bland. So try to use different fonts, different types of style. And the red stands out behind the white background. So you have to understand a little bit about the color wheel. So what are warm colors? What are cold colors? So when you want colors that harmonize together, you use the same palette. But when you want contrast, in the color wheel, right? The one that directly contrasts, you can use for typography. And the one for background, you use the ones that are beside each other. So clear with this?
Yeah.
Okay, next. Alignment. Alignment basically means arranging your graphics in order. For example, you can look at my slides here. I align like the word alignment and my blue one, because that's the title and my description. And then I align the one with the bullets slightly to the right. So this helps you to avoid clutter with your slides. And nowadays with Canva, PowerPoint, and Keynote, they already have grid lines for you, so it's very easy to just snap all your pictures and everything into place. So another question for you, Nezhan. Which picture follows the principle of alignment?
Well, if it was coming from an abstract point of view, I think B. But since we're talking about education, I would say
Yes.
A.
Yes, because you want your students to understand what you're trying to say. So the rectangle box represents your text. The squares represent your photos. So when you align everything together like this, it's systematic. So your students will know, okay, I'm reading the text from the left, and then we look at the pictures to the right, because scientifically that's how our eyes work. We always look from the left and then we move to the right. Next. Simplicity. Less is more. Because I love this Zen kind of thing. Because a lot of teachers, they feel like I must put a lot of things to get my students' attention. No. If you notice, a lot of from session 1 until now, my slides are very simple. There isn't a lot there. So keep it short and sweet. Do not overcomplicate things, and emphasize what, so that you can emphasize what you want your students to see. Question for you again, Nazhan. Which picture follows the principle of simplicity? Which one is Zen? Which one gives you that soothing vibe?
The very serene kind of vibe, right? So I would say A. I would love to sleep in a room like A.
Yes,
Seems
you would
very
like to sleep. Especially because I have 84 slides for this presentation. So I do not want my slides to look like B. It will lose the students' attention. Keep it simple. Maybe 3 elements in one page. That is my tip. 3 elements in one page. And next, proximity, the use of space. So proximity is how you group your graphics and your text together. Sometimes there's no right or wrong, but a rule of thumb is place related objects together and place unrelated objects further away. So here's an example. Question. Which picture follows the principle of proximity?
A.
A, definitely A, because when we are reading, we want all the text to group together. Because in picture A, this picture tells us, oh, this picture is related to the title and the text. And the flowers They're just decorative. Put them further away. Okay? Very easy to understand. Emphasis. What is your focus? So there are two types of techniques. One is you use contrast to shock your audience. Oh, what is this? That's emphasis. Or you use emphasis to slowly divert attention of the readers. Where do you want your readers to look? Do you want them to look in the center, to the side, to a specific picture? So this is an example. Nathan, which one makes you feel like there's an emphasis?
B would explains that, oh, it explains the sentence in picture form, But
Yes,
in A, it just say apple. When
yes,
we look at A, is oh, apple.
yes, because I really want you to focus on the word apple. That's why I bold the word apple. I changed everything to cap locks and I give a big picture of an apple there. Because
Mm.
the human eye, they like to find something different, like a puzzle. In picture B, it's too hard for you to see. It's like finding Waldo. Do you want to look at apple? Do you want to look at the doctor? Do you want to look at the kid or the glittery thing? Or do you want to look at the clouds? It's very stressful for the eyes. And this is something that a lot of teachers they feel uncomfortable about is the use of white space or negative space. They
Mm.
feel like, oh, it's just a white background. Is it interesting? But you know, but like, what do you want? What do you really want the students to get? Do you want them to enjoy the background, or do you want to enjoy the? Do you want them to focus on the information? So that's the
Mm.
issue here. So remember to direct your students' eyes. Where do you want them to look at? And finally, repetition. Consistency helps you to convey message. So you have to be consistent with your background colors. Don't use too many colors. Suddenly it goes from white to purple to rainbow to pink to red. It's very distracting. And you maintain the object size. So if, for example, the white splashes on my slide here, I maintain the size so that it doesn't distract everybody else. You use the same fonts. For example,
Mm.
throughout my Canva presentation, I only use two fonts, but I give it some what do you say? I give it a variety, same font, but different bold sizes. So
Mm.
the title will be bold, and then the definition will be like medium size, and then for the descriptions, further descriptions, I made it slightly finer, but it's the same font. And
Oh,
then be
and then
consistent.
because from what I see on the current slide, right, we can
Yes,
see that you use two colors.
I use two colors. Yes.
So what is the correlation between, let's say, no, not really. How do we determine a color palette for a certain PowerPoint or a certain MMP?
In Canva, there is a function called the color palette. So
Oh.
there are presets. There are already presets. You just choose whatever color scheme you want. And it will tell you like, okay, you should use this one for font, this one for the background. And so it's very, you don't have to like scratch your head and like, think, oh,
Mm.
what color should I use? It's all in Canva.
Oh.
And be consistent with your transition and your animation. You don't want things suddenly like your slides going up and then coming down and then circling around and spiraling here and there. Very, very distracting. It really hurts the eye. And be consistent with the audio. Sometimes, like some people, they will narrate in their MMP, and then in the background, suddenly they spike it up to 100% volume. So
Mm.
try to be consistent with all these aspects. And last question, Which picture follows the principle of repetition, Nathan?
A, honestly. Yeah.
So the circles represent our MMT. When there's a pattern like in picture A, it's very soothing to the eyes. Then our students can pay attention better. They can focus on the content. They're not distracted by this big circle here and this blue circle there. They're not distracted by the purple circle and like the oval shape here and there. So, any questions about Casper before I move on to the third criteria?
Mm, let's give a second for the chat if anyone wants to ask.
Okay.
I think we can continue.
Okay, let's continue with the third criteria, audio. So these are the three things that you should consider when you're narrating, because you'll be doing the actual teaching. And then the background music, you want like soothing music or like you want a sad music throughout your video. And number three, sound effects. So let's move on to narration. Make sure that your narration is loud and clear. Here are some of my tips. Number one, turn off the fan, because when you're recording, you will hear the background of the fan like so it's not clear. It's very distracting for your students. And try to record in a quiet environment. There is no such thing as a soundproof room, but you can try to absorb the echo by having furniture in the room. So you have a lot of furniture in the room. You have padded things like egg crates, or you have soft foam. It will help to create a quieter environment. Can't really have 100% quiet environment. That means you have to like take down the whole house and build concrete in your walls and everything. But you do the best you can. You do the best you can. And invest in the mic. For example, the mic you are using or the microphone that I'm using. So buy something. Nowadays it's very cheap, yeah. About in Shopee, about maybe 20, 30 ringgit, maybe less than that.
Yeah.
And there's a good tip as well when you're recording. Can you show the audience the type of microphone you're using? The earplugs, right? So the mic part, yeah, for the mic part, you can actually cover it with a piece of cloth so that when you speak to your mic, you don't get your puffs and your shs and your fuss while you're recording. Yeah, you don't get the yes. So this is a trick I learned from singing karaoke with the singing app. So when you sing, so when you sing through that mic, you cover it with a piece of cloth. So you get that. It's like it makes it into a real microphone.
So it's like much more crisp. The sound is much more crisp.
Yeah. And then number 4, listen to yourself again. So if you're not satisfied, delete, start over. And this is the editing section when you're doing your narration. You add a little bit of reverb. Reverb means the ambient sound in your recording. Do you want to sound like you're talking in a toilet? Do you want to sound like you're talking in a hall? Or do you want to sound as though you're in a studio? So if you're using BandLab or any of these softwares, they have presets. So you can change. So even if you're recording in a loud environment, it can help to change the setting a little bit. And compressor is to boost your sound to make it more punchy, and it's to balance your sound wave. This is more important for singing. So sometimes when you're recording, when you're singing certain lines, you end up singing one part too loud and one part too soft. So by using a compressor, it will help balance out the sound waves. And then in a lot of the apps, you can now change the volume of your recording. If you find that your narration is not loud enough, You can boost it up to 100% or 200%. And in certain apps like GarageBand, you can change your voice. So if you don't like your voice, sometimes I don't like to hear my own voice. I feel like it's very annoying. I feel like, oh, is this what I sound like? So now you can change your voice into a robot. You can change your voice to a cartoon. And even if you're so lazy, there is a Google app or something that you can just type out your script and they will
And then it'll
narrate
read it out. Yeah.
and they read it out for you. So I find that very interesting. For very shy teachers, maybe that is helpful.
Okay, so
Okay.
actually I have a question.
Okay.
What, like you said, sometimes when we listen to recordings of our own voices, right, we tend to feel like, ew, is that what I sound like? Wait, is this what reality is like for me? So how do we get over that, I would say, mental barrier to learn to accept our voices to make multimedia presentation much more, much more practiced?
Oh, for me, it's all in the head. So you just have to practice. You just have to learn to listen to yourself through the microphone a lot. When you do a lot of videos, slowly you'll start to be more confident and you'll be like, yeah, I started to accept it. My voice sounds like this.
Yeah.
There's no way about it.
Mm.
That's why, like, if you can't accept it, you can always add reverb, add a compressor. You can always change your voice, so that helps.
Mm. All right, so I think that's it. We can move to our next slide.
Next slide. Background music. So the background music sets the mood to your MMP. So do you want a calm, soothing music? You want an action-packed background music? You don't want to tell a happy story, and then suddenly there's like a sad music in the background. So it affects the entire mood of the students as well. So be selective. You don't have to you have to be very selective. Avoid music with vocals because your viewers will be distracted by the singing and they won't be able to hear you. So find some music that don't have singing in it. Copyright. So like I said, be careful with the copyright. You can download a lot of background music online, which reminds me, by the way, remember the question of where to buy copyright music on YouTube?
Yeah.
I think one of the audience asked us, right? And I did a quick Google search. It's too expensive if you want to buy the music because first you have to write a letter to the company. You have to write a letter to the singer. You have to write a letter to the producer. You have to write a letter to the lyricist. So you have to find each and every one of these owners and you have to ask for permission. You have to write a letter and state what are you using it for. And chances are you won't.
They're rejected.
They will reject you or they won't answer. And for very popular musicians, it can go up to thousands of ringgit. So it can be very expensive. So I found an alternative for you. Try to go to YouTube Audio Library. And under there is a section called ad supported music. So there you can search the name of the popular song you're using and it will tell you, okay, you can use this music, it is public domain. That's great. Or it will tell you, you can use this music, but it's not available in certain countries. Maybe like in Germany, your video might be blocked. Or like, so I did a quick search for Blank Space by Taylor Swift. If you use that music, you will be banned.
In Malaysia?
Everywhere.
Oh, everywhere.
Yes, everywhere. And Megan Trainor, all about that bass. That music will be banned. They will ban your account if you use it. So before you use any popular music, you search first on YouTube Audio Library.
I see.
Yeah,
so it's best to avoid big art.
Best to avoid big artists. And then volume. My tip is keep it to around 40%. from your vocals. So if your vocals is at 100%, maybe the background music is about 40%. And then lastly, is it really necessary? Do you need background music for every multimedia presentation? Not necessarily. So you don't have to use it all the time. So now we can go to the next slide, sound effects. So sound effects add realism to your MMP. Maybe you want an ambient sort of sound effects. You want, you're talking about rain. You're singing about rain, rain, go away, come again another day. So in your video, you can add like some pitter-pattering sounds of the rain falling down. Or when you're transitioning to the next slide, maybe you want to have that nice whoosh or the magic music. So it's interesting. Or you have moving objects. You have like a car. You have a car moving or a truck moving. So you add a little beep beep, or you add like the engine sound. So it will make it more interesting. And another thing that is very important is the timing. Make sure that you time the sound effects to your moving objects correctly. You don't want the car to move first, and then the timing is slightly off. So that's going to be very off-putting to your viewers. Volume, same thing. Keep it to 40%, maybe less, maybe about 10 to 20%. And use it sparingly. You don't need sound effects for every slide. Just a sprinkle one or two here, a sprinkle one or two there. That's enough. And that's it for audio. Now we can move on to during recording. This is regarding if you want to record yourself while you present with your presentation slide. This is something that is a very common concept with teachers now. You see the teacher at the bottom right of the screen, and then they are presenting their slides behind them. So I'm going to talk about the difference between a tripod and gimbal. So a tripod is used for a static subject. So you're not playing around with transitions. So it's very good for a teacher who is narrating, or if you're a teacher and you want to do flat lay, you want to write something, you want to write notes out live for your students, you can use a tripod. So you face your smartphone down, and you can make stop motion animation as well. So tripod is very useful for that. Gimbal is more for acting. You're using it for moving subjects. You want to run, or you want to walk with your subjects, or you want to do some acting scenes. So the gimbal is more flexible in that sense. It's not very practical with the tripod. And for lighting is very important. Not too bright and not too dark. So there are a lot of lights nowadays that you can buy from Shopee and Lazada. You can invest in the ring lights. You can get studio box lights if you're really serious. And you get the portable small LED ones. Let me show you what happens when I turn off my ring light. Hang on. Yeah. Can you see any difference?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. So this is an orange light. So hello, an orange now. So this is a white light. So the light affects. It gives you a consistent vibe to your video. You want everything to be as clear as possible. And I understand for students, when you're doing your project, you might not have the money to buy this. No worries. Borrow a few handphones and you use the flashlight features. So you direct one directly at the subject, one at the side, and another one from the other side. So you get balanced light.
Yeah. But sometimes when like the lighting is too harsh, when it's too harsh, our face just gets like blown up. Like it just gets a blob of light,
Yes. So that's why you have to move the lights further away, maybe, or maybe not use it, or maybe like record with at the window. So it depends on the timing as well. So I'm going to talk about that later. Let's move on to angle and composition. So the angle of the camera is very important. Do you want to shoot from the front? Do you want to shoot the subject from the side? Do you want to shoot the subject from the bottom or the top? Because everything creates a different effect, especially if you're doing acting scenes. And your composition. This is very important for your MMP because when you are talking, right, sometimes you want images or text to appear. So you have to make sure you give enough space, especially if you're recording horizontally. So your subject is here, your text is somewhere here. So make sure you have enough space and enough empty space for your notes. And test shot. Before you start recording, record a few seconds first. This is to check your lighting. This is to check your hair. This is to check your makeup, your clothes, whether your smartphone, is it slanted? Is it straight enough? So that helps you. You don't want to record the whole thing and then you just realize, oh no, I held my notes upside down. So all the while you've been talking with your notes upside down because you didn't do a test shot. And samples, for me, I'm never happy with one take. I always take 3 takes as backup. So if one take doesn't work, you have 2 or 3 more, so you don't have to waste time to reshoot. And location, if you're shooting outside, for example, for your students' project, you might want to shoot at the canteen, you might want to shoot at the library. Always scout the location and determine the best time to shoot. So if you want a romantic vibe, you always shoot around sunrise or sunset, so you get that nice sunlight glow.
That golden look, the golden light look. Yeah.
That golden light look. If you shoot in the afternoon, it's too hot, and your model, the makeup will run. It's very uncomfortable. And if you shoot at night, it's too dark. So decide what is the best time and where to shoot. Or if you're shooting indoors, try to find a blank background, a wall maybe. Maybe you can use curtains, or you can use a flat bed sheet, tape it on the wall. This is just temporary anyway. Maybe you can just take it down. Or do you want to change the background later during editing? This is where chroma key is very important. So chroma key is blue or green screen. And the reason we use blue or green screen is because of the human skin tone. It contrasts with the color blue and green. If you use black as your chroma key, then when you edit it later, your hair and your eyebrows will disappear.
It looks invisible.
It cancels out the color. Or like if you're wearing green clothes with a green background, your head will be floating in the video and your body will disappear. So if you're using chroma key, a few tips: don't wear clothes with stripes or patterns, like something like this baju kurung I'm wearing right now. If you have too many patterns, it will, in the video, it will be like moving around. The patterns will be swirling around. And don't wear the same color as the background. Okay, so that is during recording. Last criteria, editing. So this is the most tedious section. Sometimes I look forward to it, sometimes I don't. Because this is the part where you're combining your slides, you're combining your audio, the images, the videos, your animation, and etc. So in your group work after this, try not to put it down to one person. Poor guy. I pity the person who's going to do the editing. Try to sit down together and discuss together, because it's very taxing as well. And when you're editing, decide on what software or app that you're using. What features do you need? Do you want chroma key? Do you want an app that gives you a lot of visual effects? Or do you just want something basic? So like, and for more advanced settings, you have to pay. So not a lot of So not a lot of software on, especially when the ones on laptop gives you free. There's always a catch. There's always ads or watermark,
Yeah.
which is very annoying.
that one editing the InShot.
InShot, yes.
Yeah, there's always a watermark on that.
Yes. Which is why I'm going to talk about CapCut after this.
Mm.
So next is organize your files. Very, very important. Always create a folder for your projects. Rename your files. Decide which file is the one that you're going to use. Which file are your rejects? Put them in two separate folders. I have thousands of photos. I have thousands of videos, and like it's very annoying when I have to search through each and every one of them. So like, be very organized. Number three, when you're done, just preview it first to a few people. Maybe you just preview to YouTube first, but you put it as unlisted and you run it through first, just to see that if there's anything wrong or you need to reshoot. Because sometimes when you're rendering media and your laptop or your smartphone is not powerful enough, sometimes timing might be off or the images might disappear. So you have to check for that first. And always save your project. This is, I have like a few very, very sad experiences. I was like doing something halfway and my laptop died on me. I forgot to charge. So
Yeah.
I have to start all over again. Very annoying. So this is why I love Canva anyway, because it automatically saves every time I make any changes.
Oh, so it's like Google Docs.
It's like Google Docs. So that's it for criteria. Any questions before we move on to Canva?
Oh yeah, I have a question from a Google form I sent out a few days prior.
Okay.
It's regarding this one. Which MMP is better, colorful with many images or simple with minimal images? And obviously you stated right just now that minimalism is better. But in terms of education, minimalism is better. But it's for, let's say, marketing. Which one is better?
For marketing, the best company is to give you an example would be Apple. Because if you notice, Apple ads, they're very good at using negative space. It's always the blank background. And suddenly there's a big iPad there.
Yeah.
It's very big. So like, so it's like, I think that's why people enjoy, I think that's why people are enticed to buy Apple products because it looks so sleek.
It looks very
sleek.
sleek.
It's very seamless and it looks very sophisticated.
Aesthetically pleasing, honestly.
Very aesthetically pleasing. I'm not an agent for Apple, by the way. I wish Apple would.
I mean, like, you're an Apple teacher. It's not really.
Okay. So besides that question, I hope that answers the question, by the way.
Yeah, hopefully. So, back to the slides.
So maybe we can move on to Canva for education.
Yeah.
So next slide, please. Canva for education, what is it? It is a free graphic design platform for teachers. For students, there's a sister website. It's called Canva for Students. So one question to Nazhan, are you using MOE ID or do you have a student ID?
I'm using my personal email for Canva.
You're using your personal email for Canva. Well, do you have an email that college provides you?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, then you should use it for Canva for Students. Because when you use basic Canva, every time you download your slides, there will be watermark. And sometimes you have to pay 25 ringgit for each slide.
Yeah, because it's in dollars, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It's in dollars. So if you're a student and you have your college email, subscribe for Canva for students. If you're a teacher, you subscribe to Canva for education.
Oh, so they have their own student and education websites.
Yes, because Canva for education is specifically catered for teachers. So all the templates, all the designs, they are all related to teaching. So for students, all your content will be specifically for students.
I see. So based on your experience with Canva, right?
Yes.
Is there like a limitation to Canva for education and normal Canva?
It's the same as Canva Pro.
Oh, really?
Yes, which is why I want more teachers to use it.
I see.
And I will show you why if we go to the next slide. So it's amazing. You can use it on your web browser. You can download a version of Mac. You can download a version for Windows, or you can use it on your phone, whether you're using iOS or Android. So it's available everywhere. So you can, sometimes I can do my work simultaneously on my phone, on my iPad, and on my laptop, and it will save simultaneously. So you can multitask. It's great. It's amazing. Next. So I'm going to tell you what is Canva education best for. It's for teachers who want to design graphics for class. Maybe you want to search for free images. Maybe you want to search for videos, audios. You want to design a slide. You want to make a worksheet. You want to create a poster for your class. Because as a class teacher, I always have to decorate my class with infographics, right? So Canva seriously helps. And number two, it has integration with LMS. So LMS is Learning Management Systems. Do you have LMS for your college in IPG KDRI?
Yeah, we do. We use Google Classroom.
Yeah. So like once you created something, you can straight away upload to your Google Class. You can upload it to your Google Sites. And then number three, you can send a design over to your teammate. You can create a team on Canva. So you add your members there. And then once you're done with the design, you just tell them, okay, collab on this. Then they can make adjustments. They can make comments. This slide is, you need to make some changes here. Or this slide, I'm going to change the fonts here for you. Yeah, something like that. So it's very great for your group work assignment after this. You can you don't have to meet up in the canteen or library anymore to do group work. You can just work from your hostel room.
I wish we could, honestly.
and then number four, Canva for education comes for brand kits for social media. So for example, I'm a YouTuber teacher. I want to feel like an influencer. You can design logos for yourself. You can design a header for your website, maybe for your Instagram, for your Facebook, or for your Google Classroom. And you can even create merchandise to promote your own brand. You can make t-shirts.
Oh.
Yes. So next slide. What are the design templates available? You can make multimedia presentation. You can make flashcards, posters, infographics. I've talked about this. You can make your headers. You can customize your Google site and Google Classroom. You can create your lesson plans and share with other teachers. You can create your worksheet on modules, and then you can assign them as homework straight away. You don't have to download and send it via WhatsApp. Just straight away upload it and create a deadline for your students. So lecturers, this might be useful for you after this. And next, you might be thinking, is that all? What other perks do I get? You get a lot. For Canva education, you can upload 100 gigabyte storage and it will save on the Canva cloud storage. So this is just uploads, yeah. This doesn't cover your presentation. So your presentation is another thing, but all the pictures that you want to upload from your laptop or your smartphone, you get 100 gigabyte storage free. And then you get copyright free stuff like templates, your images, audio, video, fonts, charts, and GIFs. So in the elements section of Canva, you just search anything and everything will come up from there. So you can decide, oh, maybe I want like cartoons, or maybe I want like a moving bobblehead cartoon kind of thing. Everything is there, and then you just drag and click and resize it on your slides. And then there's a feature called present and record. This is my favorite one. It's still in testing. It's in beta version, but it's a very powerful tool. So when I have my slides ready on the website, I just click present and record, and I can record myself and then download it or share it to my students. So it's very useful because I cannot do video conferencing. So this is an alternative for me. I cannot do synchronous teaching, but I can record beforehand and then send it to my students.
So it's basically coming for Microsoft PowerPoint's job.
Yes. It's basically Microsoft PowerPoint, but maybe there are certain features that PowerPoint has more because it's an offline software. When it's web, you get there are certain less things, but still great to use. And then your designs, you can download your designs in many ways. So you can download it as PNG, that means pictures with no background. And then you can download as JPEGs, images. You can download as PDFs. You can download as SVG. SVG stands for Sharp Vector Graphic. So it's also something like PNG, but sharper and better, so that you can directly print on t-shirts.
Oh, so whenever people use it for any graphic designs for t-shirt, it's SVG.
Yes, and you can print it for your mugs, or you want, like maybe students for your college, right? You have to create buntings or banners for college events. Download it as SVG, and then send it to the printing company.
That's a very good tip.
Yeah, and you can download as MP4 video, or you can download as GIFs. And there's more. There is more.
Wow.
So for Canva, they have integration with your social media and apps. So you can upload any material from your FB, from your Insta, from Google Drive, from Google Maps, from Emoji, Dropbox, YouTube, Giphy. So if you have any accounts, you can upload it, put it into your MMP. So it's very useful. You don't have to like download it first from your YouTube and then re-upload it again. No, everything is done on cloud. And you can share your links to anyone. And then you can create folders to manage your design as well. So I create a folder for each of my class. At the moment, I have 70 slides, 70 MMP slides. So it's very hard to find each and every one of them. So for safekeeping, I can create folders. And then you can choose specifically where to export your designs. You can export your designs to Office PowerPoint. So you can export it and then you continue editing it on PowerPoint. You can directly send it to Microsoft Teams for online teaching. You can export it to your website, your OneDrive, your learning management system, LMS, and many more. And now I'm going to talk about the integrated photo editing that is in Canva. So you can remove the background of any pictures, which is why when you see my slides, you'll notice that, hey, how come my picture don't have background? You just click and Canva will remove the background immediately.
Automatically.
Yes, automatically. You just click on the picture, on effects, and then there is a button that says background remover. Very intuitive. And next picture, I'm going to show you what are smart mockups. So it's the same picture from the previous slide. This is also in the effects section. You can put the same picture into a specific layout that you want. You want it in a smartphone. You want that same picture on a t-shirt. You want it as a canvas or greeting card. You want it in a laptop, or you want it on a mug. So it will make your multimedia presentation look more professional.
And interesting.
It is interesting. And also with the effects section, you can change the look of all your photos. So besides filters, you can add like certain gradients, maybe like rainbow tones. You want the picture to look wonky, like in slightly wonky. You want it to change it to pixels or like quote art. They call it quote art. So yeah, that's some of the features that you can get. So what's the catch? There is no catch. You just register with your Delima email and you get verified as a teacher. As I said, like if you use Canva Basic, you have to pay 25 ringgit, and all your slides will have watermark. So make sure that you use this Delima email when you register, and make sure that Canva registers you first as an educator.
So to say, I'm assuming that the same applies to the student emails.
Same applies to the student. So you have to tell Canva which college are you affiliated with.
Yes.
This is some limitations that you asked me previously. What are the limitations of Canva? Number one, present and record feature, because this is still testing. So I hope in the future they will improve it further. This is a screenshot of my slide, Kalak Chato. And you can see that in the circle there with the arrow pointing down, that's the size of my video while I'm talking. So it's really, really small. So an alternative that a lot of teachers do is they export it to PowerPoint, and then they record themselves on a different software like OBS, so that then they can control the size of the video so that the teacher will look slightly bigger. And another thing that I don't like while I'm using present and record is there are no mouse pointers. So while you're recording, sometimes you want to show students something on the slide. Maybe you want to highlight specific words. But because it's just a screen recording at the moment, there are no mouse pointers. So if you want to use mouse pointers, you have to record yourself on OBS.
Yeah. Even if I'm not mistaken, even if you record on Microsoft Office PowerPoint, I don't think there is a mouse option as well.
There's no mouse option.
Yeah.
Because I don't use PowerPoint, because every time I export the slides, it gets so heavy, which is why I prefer Canva. Every time I use Canva, and when I download it, it's about 10 to 20 megabytes. So it's very manageable. Yes.
So small.
So small. So here are the cons. Slide animation. So this is something that PowerPoint has advantage. Canva is slightly limited because you can only adjust the timing. You can adjust the page, text, and photo animation. You cannot adjust the object to go in, to go out, or to loop. And one thing, if you use timing, right, it might affect the present and record functions. That happened to me once. So I was happily recording and I set the animation for 5 seconds. And for every slide, the slide shifted to the next page every 5 seconds. So I wasn't done talking in my recording and it cuts my audio. because my audio halfway. So
Yeah,
that's
it's like a bug, right?
it's a bug. It's a bug. And that's my third point. There are some bugs in Canva. Sometimes the images do not appear, maybe one or two images. So you have to present first, trial run it first. And then if that image don't appear, you have to replace it with another one. And sometimes the videos don't play when they get exported. This is especially true for PowerPoint. So you can only create the slides, but you cannot add videos in it. You have to add the videos elsewhere. And then sometimes the platform or the app crashes, but it's very rare, very, very rare. Maybe once in a blue moon. And that's it for Canva. Any questions? Any questions from the audience? If not, then we can move to CapCut. Yay!
I think I think no one wants to ask a question.
Okay. So let's move on to CapCut. CapCut is a free video editing app. This is better than InShot, I think. I don't know, maybe you have to listen and like you make your judgment afterwards. So CapCut, this is an app, so it's specifically designed for iOS and Android. If you want to use it on your laptop, you can, but you have to download an Android emulator. Are you familiar with the term Android emulator?
Sorry.
I was just asking, are you familiar with the term Android emulator?
Oh yeah, it's like, let's see, if you download an Android emulator on Windows, it basically simulates a phone.
Yeah, so you're tricking the laptop to think it's a phone so that you
Yeah.
can run the APK file. So what's so good about CapCut? Completely free editing app. No ads, no registration, no watermark. And number two, integration to social media. So you can upload straight to your social media when you're done. You can upload it to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So you just need to sync all your accounts and it will directly blast your content to the world of internet. And number three, very easy editing on the go. You can just do it on your smartphone, but the result is as though you use something on laptop. And number four, you get all-in-one features. And let's talk about the features. What do we get with CapCut? Next. Like I said, no ads, no watermark. And in CapCut, there are templates for you, free to use. There are also a lot of audio. I think about more than 100 background music that you can use and you don't have to credit. I love the effects and the sound effects because you can create fire. You can make yourself like the anime character with the smoke and everything. And they even have something like all the 3D stuff. You can change your look and your face as well. And then the fonts, a lot of fonts. You can change almost everything about it. You can change the animation of the fonts. You can change the background of the fonts. You can change the line spacing. You can change the font spacing as well. Change the color and the gradients. So you can get many, many different effects. And the stickers, you can use emoji. There are emojis in there. And there are a lot of cool little moving GIFs. So if you want something that says loading, or you want a computer that bounces, or you want an aeroplane that flies, a lot of things are in there. And you get here are the cool features. You get to have animation, and there's something called green. You can use green screen without using a green screen. So for those who have Android phone, there's something called remove background. So you just have your picture there. You click on remove background, and the AI will remove the background for you. So you don't need a green screen at the back. Yeah, so it saves time. And then Ken Burns. Ken Burns is a special effect. Oops, not done yet. Can we go back to the previous slide? Ken Burns is a special effect whereby, have you seen in videos whereby the picture will kind of like zoom in?
Oh,
yeah,
it
you
pans
can
like
do that.
from a wide angle and then it zooms
Yeah,
slowly into
and
the arm.
you can make it zoom to the left. You can make it zoom to the right. That's called Ken Burns.
Oh, you can do that with editing software. It's not a
Yes.
camera thing.
No, it's not a camera. And there's something called auto captions now. So you don't want to type subtitles. You're so lazy, right? So you just click on auto captions, and the AI will generate for you, provided that you have good pronunciation. I think it works for English and Chinese. This is a China app. So save you time for your students. VO, you can add voiceover. So when you're done with your editing, you just click on voiceover, and you can pop as your slides, as the video or the slides is moving. And lastly, beauty filters. These are for the very camera shy teachers. I think you can like enhance your head and your legs, and you can add makeup.
Can enhance the physical body, not just the
You can
features.
enhance. Yes.
Oh,
I haven't tried it yet. I think the update just released like a few days ago. So try it out after this. Next.
so basically we can make genuinely professional videos and MMP presentations from CapCut.
Yes, because there's also another feature. It's called stabilize. So if you have shaky videos, it will automatically stabilize for you.
Oh, I see.
And you can edit up to 2K and 4K, because I've used a few softwares in the past, like PowerCut Director, and some of them they let you they let you edit to 4K, but when you want to download it, they ask you to pay. Yeah, but this one is entirely free. So if you're using very good phones, you want to edit the highest quality as possible, you can. And there's something called 3D transitions and effects. So when when your titles zoom past, right?
Yeah.
It's usually very 2D. It's just like fly in and it flies out. So now you can make your object fly in and swirl, and then it goes out. So there are many combos that you can try out to make your presentation very nice. And then you can upload your own GIFs and stickers. If you find that, I've made a GIF, I've made a sticker, and I want to use it in my CapCut, you can add it in. And overlay and resize. Overlay means you have a video and you want to add another video or a picture over it, which, for example, my Hey Emma video. So I have a background, but my green screen is too small to record two-person. So I record myself individually, and then I record my husband, and then we paste it in the video, combine it into one. So you can have up to 4, 5, maybe 6 layers.
Oh, 6 layers of the same video.
6 layers of the same video.
So let's say if I'm getting creative, right, and I want to make a video, so I can film myself in like one background, and then I can film another video and then make myself, there's 2 people, there's 2 of me.
You can multiply yourself like, Naruto.
Oh, I see.
Kage, Kushino thing. Yeah. Make multiple copies of yourself. You can.
That sounds very fun.
Yeah. And then for another thing that's really interesting, right? You can resize yourself. So if you make multiple copies of yourself, right? You can make yourself bigger and you can make yourself smaller. Some editing apps do not do that.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can make an army of yourself.
Yeah.
So next. What's the catch? No catch. Just download and start editing, which is why I highly recommend everyone use it. So here are the cons. There's a learning curve because there are so many effects, so many types of so many things you can do in CapCut. The buttons can be overwhelming. It's easy, but to get the best result, there are a lot of CapCut tutorials on YouTube that you can check out. So another thing is to search for the hashtag CapCut on TikTok.
Oh.
So a lot of them will share tips there.
A lot of tutorials there, huh?
A lot of tutorials there. And another thing, Ken Burns effect is renamed as keyframes. So some of the terminologies that that is used normally in the industry, they renamed it into something else. So that's where you might get confused. But it's the same thing. And next slide. Features. So here are the cons. Not the best green screen effect in the app because when I use green screen for my videos, right, what it does is you pick a color, for example, green, and then you increase the intensity, and then it deletes a lot of parts of my body.
Oh, I see.
The app is not that great yet. So you have to add shadow to balance it out, which is why in a lot of videos you see me wearing black a lot. So I wear the black video. So when I add shadows, it'll look as though like it will cover up all the parts that the app actually deleted. And another thing that I find unsatisfying is that you cannot import your own audio. This is because of copyright. CapCut wants you to use the copyright-free music in their app. So you cannot import your own audio, but there is a way to go about it. You just have to extract an audio from an existing video. So for example, I want to use music from this particular video on YouTube. Download the video, and then on CapCut, you extract it. So it's double the steps, but you get the same result.
So basically, let's say if we have a YouTube video, right, that we downloaded. So let's say Wonder Girls, Nobody But You.
Yes.
So we upload it to CapCut, and then we extract the audio, and we use the audio.
Yeah, and then you delete the video afterwards.
Oh, we can do that to bypass the rule.
Yeah, you bypass the rule. And then finally, some features not optimized for iOS. If you're Android, good news for you. So for the remove background, it works well on Android. Doesn't work as much for iOS.
Interesting.
So next slide. And we're at the end. I think we're early, by the way.
Yeah, we're a bit half an hour early, but it's fine. We have a Q&A session later.
Okay, so I want to leave you guys with this. Technology is the future of education, but it can never replace a teacher. So I'm trying to say that with multimedia presentation, it doesn't guarantee that if you have a good multimedia presentation, it means that your teaching has been successful. Because at the end of the day, it's how you use it in your classroom.
Multimedia presentations can't really teach, but students can learn from it.
At the end of the day, you still need that human touch from a teacher.
Human interaction.
Yeah, you need that human interaction.
All right, so I guess that signals the end of our, the end of Madam Lian's PowerPoint presentation made by Canva, made with Canva, sorry. And then we
Yeah,
can see Madam Lian's TikTok and YouTube. So be sure to check those out and give her a subscribe, like, and follow. And
thank you. Oh,
later,
before we end, I think we're supposed to show a video.
oh yeah, yeah, right.
So watch the video of Hey Emma. I made this on green screen and it is made entirely on CapCut. So if you have any questions that you want to ask me, like how I do certain things in my video, we can add that to the Q&A session.
Yeah. So the chat is open right now. So obviously, if there are any questions from the audience, you are free to ask. You're welcome, Yun. Hello. I think we should give them a second.
Yeah, let's give them a second. So do you have any ideas about your assignment after this?
Yes and no, because in terms of knowledge, I know how to do it like better now. But in terms of work ethic, I'm probably just gonna do it last minute like usual. Stereotypical student, what do you expect?
Yeah. You like back in those days I was thinking like, oh, it's so stressful being a student. But now as a teacher, I was like, oh, that was peanuts compared to the stress that I'm having now. There's so many more things to juggle, but it's good training for you.
The stress management, huh?
The stress management is good training.
Plus, honestly, as students, especially in IPG, right? Since we're working as teachers, we'll be handling a lot of paperwork and Excel sheets. Surprisingly, a lot of people don't know that because when we're interacting with the higher ups, we have to prepare like loaded paperwork, loaded surat, kebenaran, and all of that. So when we learn all of these things, and when we get pressured, it's somewhat of a simulation to the real working environment, you know?
Oh, I agree. Definitely. Definitely. I think you guys have more exposure than we did in the past.
Well,
Because
honestly, because of
I didn't use a lot of Excel back in those days.
the Excel sheets and all.
Yes.
Yeah. Even now, Excel sheets are still very confusing to understand.
Especially when you want to create the formulas and everything.
And then like, okay, I think the video is up.
Ah.
It's muted. That's the rap star.
That's my rep star. Yes.
Can you hear the audio?
No, I don't think so. Can't hear.
So but from what we can see, all of these were from CapCut, huh?
Would you like me to share my screen instead?
How about it, the crew?
Would you like me to share my screen instead? Maybe. Because I can tell that it's very lagging from the.
Yeah. So,
Would you like me to share my screen?
just a moment, yeah. They're deliberating in the group.
Well, that's one thing. That's an issue with technology. You see, with like we planned and we have everything ready, but sometimes you still get technical issues.
Yeah. It's not the same with face to face, you know.
It's not. It's not the same as face to face. Yes.
Some people can cope with it while some people can't. And that's
And
more to them.
sometimes it's just unpredictable.
Yeah. Even bad weather can turn a place where a line is not a problem to a problem.
Yeah. I can hear something now. I can hear the audio, but it's slightly
Laggy.
yeah, it's very laggy.
What's your favorite number? Hey, Martin, what's your favorite number? My favorite number isn't three. Can you find it? Look at me. My favorite number.
Yeah, there's a request from Juan Sama.
Yeah. Can we?
What's your favorite toy? What's your favorite toy? My favorite toy, my favorite toy, my favorite toy is a go-kart. That's smart. Hey, Martin, what's your favorite number? Hey, Martin, what's your favorite number? My favorite number, my favorite number, my favorite number is 8. That's great!
Okay, so I think maybe later we'll be replaying the video. But I have a few questions actually about the video.
Okay.
Was the audio actually, did you make the audio itself or,
The
you know, was
audio was from the textbook, the CFR
the CD?
year one, yeah, CD. But there are two versions. One is with the song. There are people singing it with the vocals, and there's one with the -1. So when I embarked on this project, I realized that there's no Malaysian feel to it.
Mm,
So I want my students, I want to add some Malaysian feel. That's why you see Apollo, and you see the
yeah,
Kilala.
and
So
Mael.
and we changed the name to Mael and
I
Mina
see.
to make it
So
more
all of
relatable.
that was from CapCut.
All of that was from CapCut, except the
Oh.
moving background. Moving background was from the PowerPoint keynote.
Oh, that was the PowerPoint.
Yes.
Oh, I see. So even like the emojis moving out, like the train emoji moving, that was all from
Train
CapCut.
emoji. Train emoji is the GIF, the emoticons from CapCut. And then
Oh,
you
that
can
was.
animate, and you can animate the GIF so that it can fly.
Oh, I see.
So when you saw the go-kart coming in, and it was like zooming in, I added animation to it. Otherwise, it would be static.
It would be static, and if you try to move it, it'd be like one spot and then one spot and then one spot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you mentioned just now that you were wearing black and you
Yeah,
had to add a shadow. So
yeah.
that was an example, I guess.
That was an example. If you see certain parts, especially my fingers, there's a tinge of green.
Uh,
So,
see,
especially when there are a lot of movements in the video, you will see that the software couldn't really remove all the green from
like
my
this.
fingers in my hand. Yeah, especially when you're like moving around.
Yeah. And then you said that you had to film two separate videos to actually merge together, right?
Yes, because that was an issue with my green screen. If I have a bigger green screen, then I can shoot simultaneously. So I don't have to shoot individual shoots.
So it actually shows that we can seamlessly merge together videos to make it seem much more natural.
Yes. So actually, like for example, I was looking left and then we were looking right and then we were posing together like this.
Mm,
So my husband and I have to time it at the same time. So
mm.
while he was doing his, he has to look for 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. And we play the music in the background while we are recording. So it's like recording a music video, because and then we just extract the audio afterwards. We just mute that. We mute the audio for the scene,
I see.
and then we
So,
overlay. Hmm.
oh, you overlaid them then. Okay, okay. Hmm. Okay, so I guess that's pretty much the end of our session for today, right? So
Yeah,
before we end our segment, would you be fine with a few questions
sure,
from
sure,
submitted
sure.
from students? So the first question is, how do we, okay, I asked this just now already, but so let's just recap. How do we determine a color palette for a presentation?
So like I said, we can if you use on Canva, there's already a specific palette for you that you can choose from.
Hmm.
And like all you have to do is just pick and it will automatically adjust for all your slides.
All right, so the second question is, can we use any type of green or blue on for a green screen?
Yes, yes,
So
you
like
can.
mint green, so tea like turquoise, that's fine. That's fine.
That is fine. That is fine. Because in CapCut, there is a color picker. So it
Mm.
just picks that color and it removes it completely. Just
But
make sure your clothes are different from that background.
I see, I see, I see. So and then you mentioned that why people chose blue and green over any colors were because of undertones, right?
It's because of the skin tone.
Mm.
But
Some people are
if you're shooting a product, then you can use other colors. But if you're
uh,
shooting human subjects, blue and green works very well.
since a lot of
Because
people have either
if you use red, then your lips will be
mm,
removed.
invisible.
Yeah. If you use orange, then your skin will be deleted as well.
Mm. Okay, next question is, how do we make edited videos seem more realistic?
How do we make edited videos seem realistic in what sense?
I'm pretty sure they just meant much more seamless, much more smooth and flowing. No,
Hmm.
nothing really sticks out like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm. It You have to be a perfectionist because when I edit, I will replay over and
Everything.
over again, and I will make sure that I edit to the very millisecond. So
Yeah,
you
honestly.
on CapCut you can pinch it out the timeline, pinch it
Mm,
out, and then you make sure that you get the timing right. Everything must line up in one straight line.
yeah, honestly, same. I can relate to that perfectionism.
Oh, maybe I can share my screen to show you like how I use CapCut,
Is that
so you
possible
can see.
through Meets?
Admin, is that possible for me to share my screen? I see, sure. Okay. See you. Hang on, where do I share content? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Ooh. Hold on. Are you seeing my, is it horizontal or is it straight?
It's okay. I don't know how to explain because it's more of a rectangular. I think it's horizontal.
Are you seeing it straight up or like, because
Yeah,
it's
straight
slanted
up.
on you?
Much more of a portrait.
Okay, so you can see here, these are the audio clips. You can see the audio clips. So you it's lined up with my background. So this blue one, the blue one that says magical appearance, that's the sound effect, so that it gives that ping sound. So you can see. And then I added a bit of a voiceover to say, wow, wow, this part of the video. And then you can add a lot of things. I can add the links. What else? Oh, I added like the whoosh sound
Oh, so
effect for the
there's even
Ferrari.
transitions, is it?
Yes.
Oh.
And the swish sounds. And this is the cheering, someone clapping at the end. So that's just audio. Now we go on to
Images.
overlay. Okay, let's go to overlay. So you can see, so this section is like my husband, and this is me. And I'm going to show you a part where we're together. This is what happens when we're together.
Oh yeah, oh.
So I overlaid a background of me, like, and my husband, and then at the back there's the moving background.
Mhm.
And then we're running. Actually, because this is a mid shot, so we're actually kneeling. In this shot, we were kneeling, we were just moving our hands. But
Oh,
because
so
the
you were,
background is moving, so it gives the impression that it gives the impression that we're really running. So you have to be creative in some shots.
mhm.
So this one we time together, see? Let me enlarge the timing. It has to be seamless. So this grid,
Oh,
this line helps me to snap it into place so that when we point together, we're looking left
at the
and then
same
we're looking
time.
right at the same time, and then we point together. And so that's overlay. And then we have stickers. So many stickers.
Yeah.
So you can add so many layers for different aspects. So that's the power of CapCut.
Mm.
So this is the 8. It's bouncing. I added an animation. It's called jump. And I can edit it for a few seconds, maybe 1.4 seconds, 1 second. And then it will jump fast according to the timing. This is slower. This is faster. So you have to adjust to make it more realistic and make sure that it fits the music.
The beats, huh?
Yeah, the beats. So all this, the ones with the arrows means that I have added animation.
But what's like
And
the one line under there that's continuing through the whole video?
what color is the line?
I think green. I
Oh,
don't know.
green.
I'm colorblind, so
You're colorblind.
yeah.
I think that's audio. Audio.
No, when it was at the stickers, it was the the last line.
When when it was at the stickers.
The last one.
That one is
Yeah.
audio.
Oh, that is audio.
Yeah.
Ah.
You mean this long orange one at the bottom?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that is for Team Newzoo,
Pardon?
my watermark.
Oh, your watermark. Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
That's my watermark. Oh, if you notice this kite, right, by the way, this
Yeah.
kite is, I drew it from Keynote.
Oh, you drew it on your iPad.
I drew it on my iPad because there isn't a kite emoticon, so I had to draw it myself and then add it to my slide. And then to make the animation for the text, the top orange one, these are all text. You can even do karaoke style. Let's show you the styles. Yeah, this is what you can do with the text. You can do animation. Look at all the animation you can use. Right? And then you got in, and then you got out. So for the animation to zoom out, and you got the animation to loop. This is just for the text. And then you got bubbles.
Oh.
You see so many styles. So many pretty things that you can use. It's endless, by the way.
So it honestly depends on how you want to edit your video and the overall aesthetic of your video, huh?
Yeah, your text, you can even change how your text look.
Wow. And all of this is free.
All of this is free. Which is why I said it can get very overwhelming because there's so many things to look at. You
Yeah.
see, this is the type of font that you can use. You can even put Japanese and I don't know.
Oh, Korean also got it.
Yeah. Then the stroke, you can change the color stroke. You can change the background for the text. You can change the shadow. You can change the spacing, justified. You want it in the center. You want bold italics. And then the keyboard is for you to type whatever you want. So yeah, that's it for text. Let's show you the stickers. I love stickers. Look at all the emoticons.
You can get really creative with stickers, honestly.
Oh, I love stickers. Look at all the stickers. These are the basic ones that you can find from the phone.
Mm.
Yeah, then you get all this like all the monkeys down and the hearts. Look at all the hearts. Get all this rainbow stuff.
There's
Yeah, I
even
told you you can add
countdown
silence,
timers.
countdown, game over, fighting. Battery for calls, playlist. Some of it looks a bit childish, but when you use it correctly, it's really nice. Look at all this. This is music.
Yeah, honestly, some of these look obviously a bit childish, but we're teachers and we'll be teaching children. So I don't really see a problem in that, honestly.
I don't see a problem with it too. So you get like, this is where I get some of the stickers from. And now I'm going to show you the effects. Let's see, where are the effects? Can't really see this side. Oh, there it is. Visual effects is something new lah. Oh, you got emoticons and 3D cartoon makeup now.
Oh, that's you.
It isn't the kind.
Hang on, it doesn't work. Anyway, video effects. Ta-da! Let me show you the one with the fire comic.
Oh,
or a computer game,
Or maybe
or a computer
I want lightning to.
honestly, that's really cool. In some,
or a computer game,
Isn't it fun?
yeah, it can be like really
or a
dramatic.
computer game, or a computer game,
Maybe you want to add.
or a computer game, or a computer game.
So yeah. So is there any more questions from the audience? Maybe I can try like view it. If I play this video,
Yeah, sure.
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's try.
Hey, Mina, what's your favorite toy? Hey, Mina, what's your favorite toy?
My favorite toy isn't a plane, it isn't a kite or a computer game. My favorite toy. Hey, Mael, what's your favorite number? Hey, Mael, what's your favorite number?
My favorite number isn't 3. Can you find it? Look at me. My favorite number. Hey, Mina, what's your favorite toy? Hey, Mina, what's your favorite toy?
My favorite toy, my favorite toy, my favorite toy is a go-kart.
That's smart.
Hey, Mael, what's your favorite number? Hey, Mael, what's your favorite number?
My favorite number, my favorite number, my favorite number's 8.
That's great!
So did everyone watch it? Is it
Yeah.
clear?
It was really great.
That was really great. So let me show you maybe something else. Yeah, this is what I did with Memoji for iPad. What's his name? His name's Ben. How old is he? He's 7. What's his favorite toy? His favorite toy's his ball. What's her name? Her name's Lisa. How old is she? She's 6. What's her favorite toy? Her favorite toy's her doll. And that's it. So here are all my projects. A lot of things that I've done so far. So is there anything that interests you that you might want to see? would you like to
How about
see?
something short?
Something short.
Around 3 minutes?
Do you want to see behind the scenes of
Yeah, sure.
how I record my song?
Yeah.
So this is my studio.
Hi
Wow.
everyone, welcome to our studio.
Hey Mina, what's your favorite toy? Tak potong lagi ni, kita nak testan dulu ni sebab maybe like tak sedap ke apa. Tu semua post production. Boleh buat sekali lagi ya?
Three,
Three.
yes.
Three.
My favorite number, my favorite number, my favorite number's 8.
Okay. Weh, asal kau record atas the main track?
Kenapa suara I serak sikit? Hey, Mael, what's your favorite number? Lagi sekali. Wrong lyric. Ew, one more time. That's disgusting.
Okay lah. Ready?
Okay. That's great. Tukar balik. Tukar gear.
Apa dia cakap apa? That's
Smart.
smart. That's smart. Asal kau kena kacau kau punya kertas? Kertas, that's smart je kan? Kertas je bodoh.
Agak. And that's it. Recording done.
A few moments later.
Yang final mix before the mastering. Hey, Mina, what's your
Next stage.
mastering?
So that's it. That is my recording process. I hope it gives you a bit of a bit of a picture what it looks like in my studio.
All right. So actually, just now someone asked us if they wanted to know what camera you usually use to record your videos.
What camera? Smartphone. I have a Huawei P20 and I'm using an iPhone 12 mini. I just bought this year, but before this, it was a Huawei P20.
So, and then another one asked, what about your mic? Is it your phone mic or just a specific mic in general?
Well, for teaching, for recording Canva videos, I like to use this mic, this kind of mic. But for my studio, we have a Behringer. Let me give you a little bit of a tour in my studio. Yes. Can you see? Yeah, that's my Behringer mic.
Oh, so it's actually a professional mic.
Yeah, it's a professional mic, but it's very cheap. So what else would you like to know? And this is my ring
okay.
light. Yeah, this is what it looks like.
Wow. Is that a bass or a guitar?
Oh, that's a guitar and a ukulele.
So to the audience members, you can even ask in DM. Don't be shy to ask any questions.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
And this was a question submitted to me earlier. How do we make sure students are engaging with our content?
It's hard to say, really. I guess you have to understand what maybe do a little survey, what your students want. What age group are we talking about? Primary school students? Primary school students. For the older ones like year 4, 5, or 6, they want something funny. They want all the latest TikTok trends. So try to cater something to that. Like the one when I did my recording in the studio with my husband, and they like all the funny stuff like that with the memes and everything. And for the younger ones, they like to sing, they like to see cartoons, they like a lot of animation. I get a question, how much I make a month?
That is not something you should ask out in the open.
Well, I have to say, after 10 years of becoming a teacher and teaching in a rural area, my pay is great. I'm not spending much on other things, so I invest a lot on gadgets. How long do you usually take to edit videos? Depends. For a short video like Hey Emma probably took like 6 hours, maybe divided into 2
Wow.
days. Yeah.
6
So 3
hours.
hours at night, and then 3 hours the next morning, and done. And like maybe for a 1 minute video, probably take 1 or 2 hours.
Only, and I quote, only 6
And I
hours.
put only. I think that's really fast for me because it's like zoop 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 zoop. Okay, upload. That's it. So once
Yeah,
you
but
get the
if-
hang of it,
Hmm?
once you get the hang of it, it's quite fast.
I see. So it's more, if we want to get more adept and much more faster and efficient at editing videos, we have to practice more.
You have to practice more. You have to know where to edit the volume.
So you
Where
can't
to
just
edit.
go off of theory.
Yes.
I see. So, and then the chat. I think that pretty much sums up our webinar for today. Do you have any comments, Madam Zhu?
Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation. I hope you find it helpful. You know, this is all my kung fu, all the jurus that I have collected over the years. I hope you find them useful for your project after this.
All right, with that, I hereby end our webinar with Madam Zuli, and I humbly pass over the event to Muhammad Farhan bin Muhammad Nasim, our Master of Ceremonies. Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, he's not here, so I'll be the MC now. Thank you, Madam Lian Zuli, Head of the English Panitia in SQ Sentang, our guest speaker of the day alongside Nazan bin Nurzambi, our moderator for a fully effective segment earlier. I'm sure that everyone here had learned something new. And now, I would like to invite Dr. Aslinda binti Abdul Aziz, our Head of Department of Languages, to convey a speech.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon, everybody. My voice here. Okay, thank you, Mr. MC and our moderator Nazhan. You did a good job. And first and foremost, I would like to thank our organizing committee of our webinar today, to Madam Salma, Dr. Rosliza, making this webinar a success. All JBP lecturers who are here today, thank you so much. To the Yamin and his team, you did a great job as well. And to all my beloved students, thank you for your presence and your participation. And of course, to our honorable guest speaker today, Madam Lian Zuli. It's really awesome to have you here with us and share your knowledge and your skills on multimedia presentation. I mean, I was amazed as well. Yeah, it was a very fruitful for us. So I believe that this pandemic COVID-19 has brought great to field of education. I mean, I believe that there's always a blessing that comes along with all the challenges that we face. I think everybody is doing their best to overcome problems from face-to-face learning to online learning. Then we struggle to make the teaching and learning process successful. So I think it's really amazing to see that how multimedia tools can help teachers to achieve their learning objectives successfully. I mean, multimedia presentation are an effective tool in making teaching and learning fun and effective, like what was shown by our I think Madam Zhu had actually showed us a very interesting outcome of how we make use of multimedia presentation, and it is definitely interesting, especially for young learners. And a multimedia presentation helps students to understand ideas better, I think, rather than a simple oral explanation. As a result, I think the teaching and learning will be more effective, will be more fun. Okay? Overall, it will improve teachers' teaching, yeah? Especially online. So being able to join a webinar like this will definitely foster your creativity. I think we have learned a lot. The webinar has managed to enhance your knowledge, yeah, to open up to venture out more things there for you to learn, yeah? Something. Hopefully, you will produce something big, something interesting, especially for your coursework. And we also encourage you to you can produce like what Madam Zhu showed us. I think we can you can participate in any innovation competition in the future. I mean, you're young and that is the skills that you have to master. Okay, take the opportunity. Use whatever that you have learned today. Do not keep it. Practice and you venture out. Be break down. Yeah, be creative. Yeah. Another thing I think that Madam Tu had actually shared us a lot of tips and tricks coming up with the interesting multimedia presentation. So one more thing I like to add is common sense. Sometimes you feel that you have, when there's teach, be able to see the contrast color. So if you work in a team, so common sense should come in as well. Collaborate in coming up with good outcome. So I don't like to take more of your time. I think we had a very interesting webinar today. So once again, I would like to thank Lian Zuli. Yes, thank you so much. We are so amazed of you and love to have you again in the future. And of course, we love to see how you have your husband, and it's very interesting so you can come up with a great thing like what you showed us. Yeah, you're willing to share the skills and knowledge with us today, and I'm sure that our trainees will really learn a lot. Yeah. So before I end, I wish all the best to you, especially to our guests today. Thank you so much for being here with us and share whatever you had, and hopefully I was able to practice what I did. Thank you very much, everybody. All the
Thank you, Dr. Aslinda Binti Abdul Aziz, our Head of Department of Languages, for the inspiring speech earlier. I would like to thank our beloved guest again, Madam Lian Zuli, for her time and for joining us today. Now, before we proceed, I would like to invite all of you today to open your camera for a group photo session after the recitation of Surah Al-Asr. And finally, let us all end for Surah Al-Asr, which will be read by Ayman Akimi bin Mat Azban. Please welcome.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Ayman Akimi bin Mat Azman, for the recitation of Surah Al-Asr just now. And now I hope everyone is ready with their cameras on for our group photo. Okay. And now the ceremony has come to its end. Once again, thank you everyone for attending our virtual gathering. We deeply appreciate it. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to apologize for any shortcoming throughout the event. I hope everyone take care of your health, both physical and mental. Stay safe, stay at home. With that, I am Sir Vidran, son of Morgan, and my duty as master of the ceremony for today's event. Thank you. Have a lovely day, everyone.